Hello, and welcome to PAC 14. You're watching the Community Foundation Spotlight, and I'm your host, Doug Wilson. I'm the president of the Community Foundation. And with me today we have Don Hackett, and Don is the executive director of Pointe. Welcome to the show, Don.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, Don and I have known each other for a long time. Don's a big Rotarian, and I've just gotten back into it recently again. He was a former district governor and everything. So I thought, for our folks that are viewing, why don't you tell us a little bit about Don Hackett and how you became involved with Pointe?
Okay, well, I'll be glad to, Doug. I actually am local. I've lived in this area my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I did my undergraduate work at the University of Maryland in College Park, and my master's degree from Salisbury University.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started teaching instrumental music and special education back in the 60s.
Really?
And it was through teaching and my administration in the public school system that I became involved at Pointe.
Mm-hmm.
A group of families back in the 60s were in need of finding supports for children that were not able to be served at that time in the school system.
Right.
And we were one of those families. And we started a program called, at that time, Wicomico Teen Adult Center.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved into Salisbury with the program in the late 90s, 1999 actually, and changed the name to Pointe. So I've been affiliated with Pointe for about 44 years now.
Wow.
And it's been exciting to watch it grow and to meet needs in our community.
Well, it really has grown. It's huge now.
It has. We serve about 350 children and adults every day with different types of needs.
Right. Well, tell me about what is the mission or purpose of Pointe?
The purpose is really to be a point of connection for individuals and supports in order to meet desired outcomes and needs. And that varies quite a bit. That we have individuals that are certainly with a level of mental retardation. We have individuals that have traumatic brain injury, individuals that are more medically involved, requiring daily medical types of interventions.
Yeah.
We have a children's program. In addition to the day services, we have a residential program that provides community residential living for about 130 individuals.
Wow. Big
So
program.
a lot of diversity to the program.
Yeah. What kinds of, you just mentioned a few of them, but can you elaborate a little bit on some more of the services and programs and things that you have? And how many clients do you serve? I don't know what you call them. Do you call them clients?
We actually call them consumers.
Consumers, okay.
But they have varying needs in coming to Pointe. We have some individuals that are served at Pointe that have college degrees because of a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah.
They need the supports, the services. Some are looking for job placement. So our vocational component would certainly be very much involved in identifying jobs in the community that would be appropriate for the skills that the individual has. We have individuals that are in need of just a meaningful day adult program where they will not be employed in the community, but they need to be engaged in some type of meaningful work activity during the day.
Right.
A number of our folks are there because of the behavioral types of needs that require certain types of interventions. Our children's program obviously is an exciting unit where you have 5-year-olders up through 21 years of age attending our children's program.
Wow.
And that continues not only during the day but after school supports. So there are a number of families that with children with autism that would not be able to hold their jobs if they did not have some level of support for their child after the school day. So our evening program closes around 6 o'clock, and then we have in-home supports for families that do need to have supports within their home.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier about your residential. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how many you serve in that regard?
Doug, probably the residential program is just one of those that you really feel good when you go into a home. I have a family member living in one of our residential homes. And of course, families are always encouraged to stop in at any time.
Right.
Most of our homes do have 3 residents, and there are support services within those homes where it's needed. Some of the homes require intensive supports as far as medical interventions, where you have people that are medically involved and they need to have either LPNs or RNs very much involved in the home. You have other homes where you have individuals that need drop-in supports, where they need help with managing their checkbook or to have assistance with grocery shopping and those types of things. We also have homes for children that are under 21 years of age. And of course, the atmosphere of a child's home is a little different than someone in their 60s or 70s. So there's quite a bit of diversity within the residential programs. We currently have 52 community homes here in Seoul.
52?
We do.
Wow, great.
And they're a part of the community. They're well integrated into the community. You might be able to discern that it's a home for one of our organizations because of the ramps that many of the homes do have. In having accessibility issues addressed.
I hear you.
A lot of unique aspects in the homes because they reflect the personality of the individuals that are in the homes, and that's what makes it quite unique, as opposed to living in some type of different setting. It's their home, and we view it as their home, and the families view it as their home. With my family member, it's viewed as your home, your second home. So it really has been an enjoyable part of the job in seeing individuals with disabilities integrated in a very natural way within our community.
Now, do those people who own those homes and operate those homes, do they require special training? Or?
Oh, absolutely. For anyone that is working in the homes, the training is very specific to the individuals that they have.
The needs.
We have some that obviously have seizure activity, or individuals that, as I said, do require the medical supports. But it is part of the training process that all employees receive when they are on staff at Dove Pointe.
You know, you mentioned earlier about the traumatic brain injury program you have, and I know that just recently in the Business Journal, the great chamber newsletter that comes out, was kind of featuring that. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Is that a relatively new program? Or
it's a relatively new program. We are the only licensed provider on the Eastern Shore of Maryland for traumatic brain injury services, and it is exciting, and it's, again, the program has developed out of families and needs within our community. Individuals that obviously have not experienced any level of disability until later in life. So whether it be through auto accidents, whether it be through some type of head injury, they require the level of supports that we're currently giving. We've just recently installed a commercial laundry within that area of the traumatic brain injury program. And just at Dove Pointe, we do linens all the time because of the use of the banquet room. And it gives them training opportunities. It gives them an opportunity to obviously work and to do meaningful work where they're being paid, compensated for the skill that's needed in doing laundry services.
You know, you mentioned your facility and the banquet rooms, and I know that Rotary meets there, and God knows who else meets there. Can you tell us a little bit about your facility? It's just gorgeous. It's on Mount Herman.
Thank you. It is on Mount Herman Road, and the facility was designed, part of the strategic plan at that time was to make it very community inclusive, where as you walk in, you would want to have your Rotary meeting there, or you'd want to have your wedding reception there. For us, it's a win-win that it gives our consumers the opportunity to do meaningful work in a very inclusive, natural way, where if someone's pouring your cup of coffee or pouring your glass of water, you may realize that this person has a disability, but they are still very productive, they're still contributing. And we have the Wednesday morning Rotary Club that meets at Dove Pointe. One of our individuals is a greeter every morning. And he gets up around 6 o'clock that morning to get to Dove Pointe for the 7:30 Rotary meeting, just to greet, just to hang coats.
Right.
But for him, it's one of the most important responsibilities that he has.
Yeah, and that's great. And I go to those Rotary meetings and his makeups occasionally, and I see him, and he's just a delightful fellow.
Yeah,
He
and
really is.
you know, you've noticed the level of need that he has, and it takes him far more time for him to get ready, to get dressed, to get his suit and tie on,
Right.
And it just shows the level of importance that aspect of the program is meant to him. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Hopefully for the community, it provides that opportunity, but from our standpoint, it gives our consumers the opportunity to work and to be integrated in a very natural way with the community.
Yeah. Well, it's a lovely facility.
Thank
I
you.
Congratulate you and your board on all that. That's marvelous.
Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about your staff? What's the diversity? How many of them?
I think the staff, certainly, they are key people to making the program work, obviously. But there are many different levels of needs within the organization. We have about 500 employees, considering both day and residential. And each one has their own level of expertise or skills. We obviously have to have a well-trained medical department in working with the day component of the services, as well as the residential component, which is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week program. It never concludes. And you're from a background that has, someone's always got to be on call, on duty.
Right.
The opportunity to work with folks with disabilities, I think the person has to have a certain level of passion, a certain level of desire to work with them, to be able to measure the progress in very small steps, but to really have that connection in working with people.
Patience.
Patience is certainly required, and it's exciting to see that progress that's made, that you don't give up, that you don't become too stressed or too frustrated when the outcomes aren't as immediate as you would like to see.
Right.
A number of the therapy services that we provide with our MOVE program, with just daily therapeutic programs.
Is the moving mean
the MOVE
physical moving?
The MOVE program is actually a national program that we have conducted at Dove Pointe. It stands for Mobility Opportunities via Experiences.
Okay.
And that is a long wording for saying that we provide equipment where individuals that are non-ambulatory are able to stand. Just the opportunity to stand vertically for many people is a unique experience. If I've been in a wheelchair for 35 or 40 years and now I have a piece of equipment called a pacer, which is made possible through a MOVE, then it's enabling me to stand vertically and then to ambulate. Right. It provides the level of support that I need in order to do that. So just using adaptive equipment for those that have physical types of disabilities is tremendous. And it's a program that we've been very fortunate to share internationally.
Yeah, that's lovely. I'm just going to remind everyone in a moment that you're watching PAC 14, our wonderful public television station, and you're viewing our show, which is the Community Foundation Spotlight. And I'm just going to remind you that I'm Doug Wilson, the host of the show and also the president of the Community Foundation. And I have with me Don Hackett, the executive director of Dove Pointe. We've been having a great conversation. Let me shift gears here a minute. I know you're a Rotarian, you're big into Rotary, you're the former, just recently passed district governor not too long ago, and I know that you've made it a point to try and involve Dove Pointe or Rotary with Dove Pointe or something like. Tell us about that.
Well, it's been an excellent partnership between Dove Pointe and Rotary. Rotary is just such a tremendous service organization, both in our community and internationally.
Right.
But with the Rotary program, we were able to tap into grant dollars. And through the grant dollars, we were able to purchase quite a bit of assistive technology. The MOVE program that we have at Dove Pointe requires us to use what's called pacers. Instead of a wheelchair, it's a pacer that positions a person so he or she can stand and then ambulate through the use of the equipment. We have used that equipment for about 3 years now. We implemented the program 3 years ago, and the 3 local Rotary clubs here in Salisbury, Sunrise, Wicomico, and Salisbury, all contributed toward that grant. And it's been so very successful, the MOVE program, that we have shared this program with another facility in South Africa through an international grant through Rotary, where 2 of my staff went to South Africa near Pretoria, and they trained the staff in this particular rehabilitation center to use the
PACE,
the equipment, and it's been exciting to continue to hear from them. I mean, the program is so very sustainable, and 3 years later, we're still seeing the progress that's being made in South Africa. So we just feel that partnership has been such an outstanding partnership in making the difference in the lives of people with disabilities. And the Community Foundation is another program that again reflects the partnership of this of the 2 organizations, Community Foundation with Dove Pointe. Our children's program had its beginnings through the Community Foundation.
Well, there you go.
And it really has made a difference, in the lives of children. So
that's lovely.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, you guys are a gem for their community, and I just want to read some things here. Dove Pointe's received a number of kinds of awards and accolades and all kinds of things. I'll just read a couple of them off for our audience. The Salisbury University President's Distinguished Community Leadership Award, the Richard Henson Award for Community Service, the Wicomico County Family Friendly Business Award, the State of Maryland, and other national awards. I'm sure there's a whole laundry list of things. What does Dove Pointe do to I know they deserve them, but I mean, you don't go out and try and get these awards, I'm sure. It's just recognition of the great work that you do.
Well, to me it reflects the community, that the community has been so very supportive to Dove Pointe over the years. I have a tremendous volunteer base that works to specifically look at programs and needs of Dove Pointe. When I look at the community's responsiveness, whether it be using the banquet room for a Rotary meeting or for a wedding reception or whatever it may be, that's the community coming into Dove Pointe. That's the community being very receptive to Dove Pointe. When I look at our children's program, it had its beginnings through the support of the community. Our transitioning building with the traumatic brain injury program has had its support through the community. Being a private, nonprofit organization, the community has enabled us to be able to not only meet local needs, but they have provided the financial support in order for us to achieve this. So I can only thank the community for their very active support, for enabling Dove Pointe to be able to provide the services that it does.
That's right. If someone wanted to help Dove Pointe, how would they do that? Do you have you are a 501c3, so it's a charitable organization, so you can receive donations or gifts from giving to people, and they should do that. Can they do it online?
They can do it online. They can certainly contact me at Dove Pointe. We have a website.
Drive over and see you and take a
Absolutely. Very transparent. We're glad to have people stop in. We have a gift shop that reflects local artisans, reflecting artwork. And so we encourage people just to stop in for a cup of coffee, for a bagel, and just to see the program in operation. We welcome that.
Yeah, good. What's your focus right now?
Our main focus right now is, again, trying to meet the needs in our community. We have families that require supports 24/7. Families that, whether it be the children's program where they need in-home supports. We have families that are saying, my son or daughter has reached an age where I can no longer continue to provide the services for them. And money is very tight with all providers, and everyone certainly is looking for ways in which they can provide services. We're looking at the population that has disabilities. And for our homes, there's a continual waiting list of people that desire to have community residential placements.
Right.
That's truly one of our biggest needs.
Mm-hmm. You talked about volunteers. How do people become involved as a volunteer?
We have a training program at Dove Pointe for volunteers. If someone's volunteering in a training area, they have to know what the needs are for that particular individual, whether it be a feeding program or whether it be a program dealing with some type of physical therapy. So we do provide the training for interested volunteers. We have a Dove Pointe Foundation that focuses just on different types of fundraising activities in order to augment the programs at Dove Pointe.
That's lovely.
And they always welcome parents, friends that are interested in being involved. They can put them to work very quickly.
Right. Well, that's a great thing. Why don't you give us your web address?
Okay. It's always best to, again, look at our website, www.dovepointe.com, or to contact Dove Pointe directly.
What's your telephone number? Because we can throw it up here.
Okay, my office phone, and please, I'm always very receptive. People calling to say, I want to help out.
Yeah.
410-341-4472, extension 224.
Great. Well, Don, anything else you want to add?
No, I would just really encourage the public, any civic groups, if they would like to know about Dove Pointe, feel free to contact us, stop into the organization on Mount Herman Road, visit. I'm always available to come to groups and very willing to do that, to share information about Dove Pointe.
That's fantastic. Well, Dove Pointe is a great organization, and we're very, very lucky to have it and you,
thank you,
here in Salisbury. And you serve, I suspect, a
We actually serve
area.
4 counties, and we also go into the state of Delaware. We serve individuals. We have 99 vehicles on the road every day, and we serve folks out of the Seaford, Reliance, Delaware area.
Great. Good for you. Don, thanks very much for being our guest today on the Community Foundation Spotlight, and we thank all of you for tuning in and hope you'll tune in again. This is Doug Wilson, along with Don Hackett. We've been talking about Dove Pointe. We wished you all the best. Thank you.